If you are currently doing your makeup and it's looking patchy, it's looking cakey, creasing, then thank the Lord you watched this video, because I'm gonna show you how to take your makeup from looking like this, a cakey mess, to something like this, lightweight, flawless, doesn't feel heavy, looks great in photos. I've been doing makeup now for almost 14 years and I have tried all the makeup tips, all the makeup techniques, and I have done all the makeup mistakes. In this video, I'm gonna break it all down, telling you the do's, the don'ts, why your makeup might be looking cakey, the things that you need to be incorporating so that it makes your makeup actually look flawless in real life. So if you've been trying to hunt down that one video to break down the perfect base routine, then keep on watching. Okay, let's restart this all again, shall we? If you learn only one thing from me throughout this whole video, it needs to be this. Your skin prep is the most important step in your base routine. You will not get the results that you're after if you're rushing to do your skincare routine. I have a whole video dedicated to my skincare routine. If you haven't watched it already, I'll link it down below. I used to think because I have oily skin, I could skip a moisturizer and just slap on a primer and call that skin prep. But then I noticed throughout the day, my skin would look so dry and dehydrated and my foundation would go into my skin. And actually you'll find if you prep your skin the right way, you might not even need a primer. Prepping your skin actually starts off by washing your face and exfoliating away any dead skin cells. I love using a rice-based enzyme powder. I love using this exfoliator from Dermalogica. This is their daily milk foliant. I pour quite a generous amount onto the palm of my hands. I wet it with water and then you literally just exfoliate your face. This blue one is actually gentle enough to use every single day. However, if you are in a rush and you don't have access to a sink and you want to quickly exfoliate, I love using an AHA toner. This one is from Crave Beauty. It's called Hallelujah, like hallelujah, but hallelujah. You can just take some of this toner and add it to a cotton pad. I would only use a chemical exfoliant like this maybe 2 or 3 times a week max whenever I'm wearing makeup, and I need to make sure I get rid of all the dead skin cells. Especially at the moment, I am really ill. I've been blowing my nose, so I have a lot of dry flaky skin around here, so I make sure I exfoliate all of that around my mouth. This is gonna lightly eat away any dead skin cells so that when you put on your makeup, it's not gonna look dry and cakey. If you have dry and flaky skin, that is the quickest way to ask for dry and cakey foundation. Okay, my skin just feels so much smoother now. I like to layer up my hydration. Instead of just putting on one thick layer of moisturizer, I find for me, the thin layers of hydration is what is gonna make your makeup look so smooth when you first apply it, and then also last throughout the day. So I like to go in with a hydrating toner. This is the Anua Heartleaf toner. I love this toner so much. This toner is really good for hydration. It's so calming on the skin. I also love this Tier Milk toner. It has quite a thick finish. I literally just lay this up on my hands, and the more layers of this that you apply, the more hydrated your skin is. Ever since I switched over to Korean skincare, I feel like my skin has never looked and felt better. Because I do have oily and combination skin, I am so picky when it comes to my moisturizer, especially underneath makeup. I cannot use anything that is too thick or that makes my makeup kind of slip and slide. But recently I have been loving this Dalba White Truffle Double Serum Cream and Moisturizer. I was just away in America for 2 weeks and this was the only moisturizer that I used. It's actually really cool because it's a dual compact with a serum on one side and a cream on the other. The cool thing about this is that you can actually customize however much moisture you need for your skin that day. This is their White Truffle Serum. It's kind of like a gel-like texture. I normally do about 1 dab of the serum and then 1 dab of the cream. So it's kind of like equal parts. And I just like to mix these two together. I actually had a huge allergic reaction while I was away in Vegas, and this cream really helped heal my skin. I love that you can really adjust the ratio depending on what your skin needs that day. For example, when my skin felt a little bit drier, I used 1 part of the serum and then 2 parts of the cream, mix it together, and this creates a more moisturizing finish. At night time, I will slather this all over my skin and it would really help heal my skin barrier and help with any dry and flakiness. It kind of has like a light citrus scent. The key ingredient in this is actually white truffle, which is an amazing antioxidant for kind of soothing. It helps with things like skin elasticity. It helps with fine line and wrinkles. You can just see instantly that that truffle glow that is left my skin without looking oily or heavy. Now for your primer, it totally depends on what your skin type is like. If you have a lot of skin texture, if you have oily skin, I love the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This is like an OG. I've been using this product for years. This is more of that silicone type of texture that's going to really help fill in any large pores. I also love this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, which I'm going to use today to kind of keep this video as affordable as possible. These two primers go on a little bit tacky so that when you put on your makeup on top, it really sticks onto your skin. The first mistake is avoid using too much foundation. I used to apply on foundation directly onto the skin, but I noticed that every single time I'd done that, by the end, I would use way too much foundation and then my skin will look a lot heavier than it needs to be. Instead, you want to apply your foundation on the back of your hand first. This House Last foundation is one of my favorite foundations, by the way. I think they actually made this in Korea, or it has Korean technology in here where it actually has skincare benefits. So while you're wearing it, it's actually good for your skin. Girl, before I used to apply my foundation with my fingers or a big old paddle brush, but when I was in Korea, I found these makeup brushes which are literally a game changer. This is from a brand called Philly Millie. This is their 820 brush and it's quite a wide paddle brush, but it's actually very thin, so you're able to really lay on the foundation really quickly. And then I also picked up this brush when I was in Korea. This is from a brand called Picasso, which is the brand that made the viral foundation spatula, but now they made it in a brush form. Girl, look at how thin and skinny this brush is. The bristles on this is actually very short and stumpy, so you're able to apply on the foundation in very thin layers, almost as if you're applying it on with a spatula. So you want to get a little bit of the foundation on the edge of the brush, and then this allows you to paint on really thin layers. Can you see that foundation? It literally just disappeared right into the skin. Because the bristles are so short and stubby, you're able to get right into the nooks and crannies. Guys, ever since I've gone over the age of 30, I have to be so much more careful with the way that I apply on my makeup because shit gets cakey and heavy real quick. Okay, I just done one side of my face and you can just see how much flawless and how much smoother that looks, but you can't really see a strong line of where one starts and one stops. That is the key to making your foundation look as flawless as possible. Guys, it really is all down to your base routine, your skincare routine, how you apply your foundation, what foundation you use. If your foundation doesn't match you completely, then make sure you blend it into your ears, blend it down to your neck so you don't get that line or demarcation. Okay, next when it comes to applying your concealer, this is where it could go downhill real quick. Easiest way to make your makeup look cakey is when you apply on way too much concealer. Today I'm going to use the tried and true Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. This concealer has been with me through thick and thin. I've been using her for years. I use the shade 06 Neutralizer and I also use the shade Light. I actually really like the sponge tip on this because I feel like you can't overdo it with the concealer. I always focus the majority of the concealer right in the inner corner here, and you want to do a tiny little triangle and then a little bit of brightness on the edge of my eye here. To blend that concealer, you want to make sure you use a synthetic brush so that it doesn't pick up too much of the coverage, and then I just like to tap around the edges so that it doesn't get rid of the coverage. And this brush is from Laura Mercier, by the way. It's a camouflage powder brush. Any sort of creasing will kind of happen around now, so you want to look up and make sure everything is all blended out. By the way, for my concealer, I like to go about 2 shades lighter than my skin to kind of give that brightness. Look at that before and after. You don't need to spend a lot of money to make your makeup look good, okay? For blemishes, I do like to go in with a more pot concealer like this. This is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Custard. This concealer is kind of like a makeup eraser. It just has such good coverage and blends right into the skin. Now that the concealer's on, you can go in and apply any blushes or cream bronzers. This is the KVD Sculpt and Bronze Duo in the shade Light. You can totally skip this step if you don't normally use cream bronzers. Now I'm going in with a clean, damp beauty blender and I'm just tapping away any excess makeup. Previously, I used to apply on my whole makeup base with just a makeup sponge, but I noticed when I'd done that, my makeup wouldn't last as long throughout the day. Now I kind of just do the final touches with the makeup sponge. I'm using this NARS blusher in the shade Secret Lover, which literally blends out like a dream. I've been loving using my blusher right underneath my eyes recently. I feel like it just makes my face look so much more cuter. Okay, this is what my skin looks like up close. You can kind of still see my skin through it, and that is something that I've had to get so used to because before I just used to think the heavier, the cakiness, the full coverage was what made me look flawless. But now I noticed that the more it actually looks skin-like, that is when your makeup truly does look flawless. If you still find that your foundation and concealer creases underneath your eyes or in your smile lines, you want to take a little Q-tip and just take off any excess product. I also take off any excess on my smile lines as well, because no matter how much I keep blending that out, it's just going to keep creasing because there's excess product there. Now I'm going to go in with a powder from Kosas. This is the Cloud Set powder in the shade Airy. I take a little bit on a powder brush, tap off the excess, and now I'm just going to press this underneath the eyes. I mainly set underneath my eyes first because that is what creases the fastest. Okay, now underneath your eyes should feel lightly set, and when you touch it, it should not feel wet. Now that we've lightly set everything, then you want to go in with your loose powder and your powder puff. I swear to you, nothing is going to ever beat my Huda Beauty loose powder. Okay, she is the tried and true on how you make your makeup look flawless, like you got no pores, like you're wearing a filter. So I'm just taking a little bit on my Trigger powder puff. Do not ever go straight in with your powder puff looking like this. There's some areas that have more powder. That is when underneath the eyes can go patchy. So you want to take off most of the excess and swirl it on the palm of your hand so that now it's a lot more even, and then you want to set underneath your eyes. That is the biggest game changer that I can tell everyone. This is how you fully set underneath the eyes. Okay, now that my base is set, now I'm just gonna finish everything off with all my powder products, like my powder bronzers, my powder blushes, my highlights. Now I'm gonna go in and set my makeup, which is so important if you want everything to last and stay looking flawless. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I've been using this girl for years. She just helps melt everything in and just really locks everything in place. Okay, the makeup is done, and look at the skin, guys. She is looking flawless. She still looks kind of glowy but matte in certain areas, which is exactly the look I'm trying to go for. Overall, the main points are to make sure you skin prep very well. Applying on a good moisturizer like this Dalba moisturizing cream is going to be the key to make sure your makeup lasts and doesn't look cakey and heavy throughout the day. Try not to overdo it with too much powder, too much foundation, too much concealer, because that is what's going to make your makeup look heavy real quick. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more makeup recommendations, go check out this video here where I talked all about my favorite K-beauty products, and I showed you guys all the tips that I learned when I got my makeup done over in Korea. I would love to film another video like this talking about how I changed my makeup over the years from my 20s over to my 30s. Maybe we could do a little side-by-side comparison. Let me know if you're into that video down below in the comment section. Also, I want to say congratulations to this week's winner. I'm gonna put them right here. I'm doing weekly giveaways every single week on my YouTube channel. I'm giving away loads of makeup brushes. I literally have a box of 1,000 makeup brushes, and I want to give them out to you guys. Comment down below what is your #1 makeup tip. Let me know down below in the comment section if you learned anything new from this video. I would love to know down below. And that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in next week's video. Bye. Guys, I had to make my makeup extra cakey, and I feel like on camera it doesn't even look that cakey. Girl, she cakey. Girl, it's cakey, it's patchy, the eyes are creasing, the cheek is patchy. This is all the things I have to do behind the scenes. No one gets to see. After putting on all this cake, I have to wash it off. This YouTube thing is time consuming.